Mars in Cancer. Well, this is nice. It's very, very nice to have Mars in Cancer. It's calm, it's kind, it's nurturing, it's stable, it's protective, and it's deeply emotional. Mars in Cancer comes in with a bang because it doesn't mess around. Mars in Cancer doesn't mess around. Who is your family? Who's your family? Who do you want to care for? Who do you really admire, and what do you really, who do you really desire to take care of in your life? Who really matters to you enough that you are willing to bend over backwards? Well, not really that, because that's not what I believe in, but now it is time to focus on safety and emotional security. Whenever you're thinking about doing something, whenever you're thinking about making something happen, it's good to focus on that. Now, I'm Everett Curdy, and I want to welcome you, for those listening on Spotify and Substack, to the Cosmic Sky Podcast. This is for those people watching this on those particular platforms. Thank you for tuning in. I'm so glad that you're here with me, and I'm so glad that you found this podcast. And if you like deep, insightful, meaningful astrology that has a little bit of psychology, a little bit of spirituality wrapped up in it, you're in the right place. So, please follow me. Please keep track of my updates. If you're on YouTube, here's what I'm going to request from you. Go over and follow me on Spotify and Substack. Because that's where I will be consistently posting. That's where I will be doing my astrology, doing my videos, doing my podcasts. So if you're watching on YouTube, know that you're not watching it on a platform where the ground is the most stable. So if you want stable ground with my content, go over to the other platforms to view this video on those platforms. Anyway, let's get into today's astrology transit. This is part 1. This is for the collective. And part 2, it's just for the 12 signs. If my channel goes away, if they deny the appeal, then the only videos that I'll be doing, literally, the only thing I'll be doing is these episodes on the other platforms. Maybe later on, when I finally get my channel back, I'll start posting them over nothing else besides the podcast episodes. So that's what I'll be doing. I'll continue to post like normal, as I have been. But things are a little bit uncertain right now. Things are a little bit up in the air right now, and I cannot make any promises to you. I'm trying to be strong. I'm trying to be in my state of calm and peace, which is why every single time that I do these episodes, I meditate before doing these episodes so that I can be in a calm, centered place inside of myself when doing these. And won't it be a great day when everything gets normalized? Won't it be a great day? I'm looking forward to that day, and I know that that day will eventually come. But not right now. So, Mars in Cancer is from August 12th to September 29th. That is the dates of, those are the dates of Mars in Cancer, because on September 29th it moves into Leo, and the next Mars cycle is that Mars retrograde happening from January 12th to the very beginning of April of 2027. I'll be here to discuss, or maybe not here on YouTube, but I'll be on Spotify discussing what that transit means for all 12 signs. YouTube is not the most ethical of platforms. YouTube is not the most kind-hearted of platforms. And, it's about trusting the universe. Like, if something is taken away from you, then you were never meant to have that going on in your life to begin with. You're meant to let it go. You're meant to move on to something else. You're meant to have new experiences. You were never meant to be on that platform in the first place if it suddenly gets ripped away from you. So we'll see what happens. We shall see. It's out of my control. It's not my responsibility. And I'm going to try to not get too worried and worked up about this in future episodes. The last episode was really clunky because I was all emotional. I actually meditated before doing the episode, and then I started it, and then I had to take care of something, and then I found out a piece of information that triggered me. And then I stopped it, I got rid of the recording, and then I didn't think to meditate again to bring myself into a calm enough place. So I did the recording with all the emotions, with all the clunkiness of whatever I was feeling and going through. That was that. But I don't know if I want to continue to be on YouTube if their customer service is really bad, really crappy, really not sustainable for the long term. And there's some things about YouTube, especially with its AI now, that are not sustainable. So maybe if it gets taken away from me, then the universe is asking me to let it go. And the only videos and the content I'll be reducing is the podcast episodes. And that's it for the rest of my life. Doesn't it sound great? Okay, let's start out. Okay. Now, this Mars in Cancer period is great for me because now I can focus on nurturing myself. Now I can actively have the drive and inspiration to want to nurture my own body, to want to nurture my own peace of mind. I need to protect my peace. I need to take care of myself, which is why I take efforts into account of regulating my nervous system, regulating my body, regulating my mind. And I'm asking you to do the same during this whole period because it's a time to be peaceful and to be serene as much as you can. So what can you do to make yourself feel at peace with yourself, at peace with your soul, at peace with your body, at peace with your mind? What can you actively do to become more peaceful inside of your own body? Life is really messed up right now. Think of all the wars going on, the high price of food, cyclospora, YouTube, and all its wrongdoings. We have to come back and protect our peace. We have to take care of ourselves on an emotional level. We cannot ultimately control what goes on in the world. We can control how we respond to it. I do not want to be in a relationship with a Cancer who mirrors back to me my own emotional reactivity and own emotional dependence. I'm going to tell you straight. Be responsible. Adult. respond to the emotions. Don't get so caught up and don't get so fixated in the emotions, on the emotions. That's what you're invited to really look at in your life right now. Are these emotions that come up, are they suitable for you? Are the emotions suitable? Do they have suits and ties, or do they have just brooks and Ys? So now you can think about how you can take care of your own physical peace. What is your peace? What is that peace that needs to be taken care of for yourself in your own life? What is that motion picture? Now it's time to go to the movie and watch that motion picture. The motion picture is basically telling you to protect your peace. What if I am the motion picture? Well, you're looking at an image that doesn't really move, so how can I say that? But focusing on protecting your own peace. So meditate, bare feet on the grass, journal, stay home, don't go to work, take care of your body, take care of your own physical vessel, take care of your mind, take care of your emotions. That's the invitation of this time. Now, any action that you take is based off of your emotional attachment to form. And I want to talk about this because Cancer is deeply attached to certain things that it feels comfortable with, certain things that it feels good and cozy and warm with. Cancer wants to feel comfy and safe and cozy. It wants to feel grounded in its sense of body. And so whatever emotions you feel, you may want to act on sadness, anger, jealousy, whatever, or you want to act on the emotional attachment that comes with the emotion itself. Where you want to act based off of your own attachment to things being a certain way. The key with this energy is this Mars in Cancer energy asks you to let go of any attachment that you have that is keeping you from emotional peace. Much like I may need to let go of my channel. I may need to discard all the hard work and hours I put into making all the videos. Because life takes things away from you. And life is cruel and life is mean. And life rips everything away from your face. And you've worked so hard for it. Everything gets destroyed in your life. And everybody goes through that and through those difficult experiences in their life. And you're meant to find something new that feels good for you. That feels right for you. That feels sustainable for you. That feels like, yes. This feels like the right emotional current for me. This feels like the right thing to get myself investing in, going on with whatever I'm doing. You do what feels safe in the moment. You do what feels good. What feels good? Cancer doesn't act unless it feels good. Cancer acts on its intuition. Cancer acts on its instincts. Cancer acts on what it feels good. So if you feel called to relocate or change how you do something because it feels good and it feels safe, that maybe is what you need to do. And as I'm sitting here, I'm debating whether I should post this on YouTube. In fact, I won't. Because that is giving right into the anxiety. Right into this whole fiasco. So I'll spare myself that today. And I'll give myself the understanding that I moved on from it. I've already moved on. I've already moved on. So that is done and dusted. Okay. So, you do what feels safe for you. You do what feels good for you based off of what feels good. Mars and Cancer asks you to get in touch with your own emotions, with your own feelings, with your own intuitive hits and intuition. This is what it asks you at this time, is to really get in touch with what you have going on emotionally for you, and to act on what feels safe. Put your mental time and energy into doing what feels safe and what feels good, and release your attachment to continuing to engage in what does not feel safe. Continuing to engage in what doesn't feel good anymore, what doesn't feel secure, and that's what you can really keep in mind. Now, you want to spend time and take time out to nourish yourself during this time. You want to nurture yourself, take care of yourself on that emotional level with whatever you're doing in that sense of the word. You are thinking about yourself and thinking of yourself and putting yourself first with whatever this difficult situation going on right now. You're choosing to nurture yourself. You're choosing to nourish yourself. You're choosing to take care of yourself on that emotional level. And you're choosing to put yourself first. It'll feel scary not to post this on there, but it's part of the process of change, letting go. So that's part of how it is. So there is a desire here with this energy to protect your family and those closest to you, to protect who is in your close center, who is in your close vicinity to you. With wanting to care for them, with wanting to take care of them, with wanting to nourish them, with wanting to do all that kind of thing. So you may desire this. You may desire caring for whoever in your family, in who really matters to you. You may fight with family about certain issues that come into play here. In fact, you know what? I'll flip a coin. I'll flip a coin. So let's see what the coin is going to say. Okay, continue posting. Okay, well, never mind. This will be posted on YouTube. I'm just kind of going through this in my mind as I go through this video. Anyway, it's better than me crying and complaining and whining and doing all that, right? So, you may fight about certain issues, about certain consequences. You may fight about all this. You may go up in arms about issues going on in your home life? Anyone mistreated you? Anyone mistrusted you? Did you and really, really hurt you on a deeply negative level? This is what needs to be kept in mind with this particular transit, is being aware of what and whom pushes your buttons. Being aware of what angers you, what annoys you, where you can respond before reacting. This is really, really huge for Cancerian energy, because you may need to easily respond in these kind of ways that that may that may force you to be bold and big and all this kind of thing. So it's about it's about not just it's about living from the inside out. It's not about, oh, this person did this and said this really, really bad thing to me, so I'm just gonna shut them down and react to them and do all this. I am choosing to respond. In fact, what feels right for me right now is just thinking out loud. And anyway, this is very, very difficult to decide for me right now. What feels right? I mean, what this is Mars in Cancer in action. Like, what feels right for me right now? I think it just feels fine to assume the worst and live the worst. And so I've moved on from YouTube, broken my trust, broken my liking, broken my happiness and my mental peace. So it's not worth it. I have to get rigorously honest with myself about that. So, responding before reacting. That's huge. Now, the next thing is protecting the peace of the relationship. We need to protect your peace. Not having to succumb to relationship issues or relationship difficulties, but being deeply, intrinsically grounded and peaceful inside of yourself. To love yourself. Love yourself! We beat ourselves up so much for all the negative things going on in our lives, for all the difficult things going on in our lives, for all the stressful, difficult issues going on in our lives, that we forget to be peace, live peace. I know it's a hard pill to swallow, but you've got to let go of what doesn't bring you peace. We as human beings are attached to things. We bring all of our attachment, all of our eggs to the table, all of our souls to the table. and we don't focus on peace, that we leave behind our peace. If a certain thing doesn't bring you peace, then you don't have to keep engaging in it. I'm going to do the authentic thing and disengage from what does not bring me peace. And assume that it's already been, live as if it's already been taken away from me. Live as if the done deal. Having to live with that understanding that nothing is permanent, that nothing is meant to stay if it's not meant to be there. So how can you be deeply peaceful in those relationships? We're not having to engage with a person if they hold you back from your own peace of mind, your own peace of body, peace of soul, peace of understanding. So yeah, don't do what continues to not bring you peace. And let it go. Just letting it go is so important. It's so liberating. It really, really is liberating. I can't tell you how liberating it is. Now, where are you overly defensive? Now, were you overly on your horse? On your defense? Where are you all this? I don't know what to do at this point. Let me flip another coin. Let's see. Okay, I'll just post it. Just continue posting, continue updating my channel. It'll probably most likely be there. So, anyway, where are you overly defensive? Where are you, overly aggressive with getting at somebody in a certain way and taking somebody down with their, your anger towards them and your dislike towards them? Now, what long-term security can you focus on? Building, constructing, living. Maybe it's time to focus on that long-term security. Maybe it's time to focus on that sense of peace and serenity that you have. That is what needs to be kept in mind. Is long-term security, long-term peace, long-term, that's what we need to form, is feeling secure. And what are we going to do for that security? What are we going to do for that whole experience? Now, we may be more vulnerable. It's really, really good to be more vulnerable at this time and speak about our feelings. Be accountable for, be accountable about our feelings. That's really, really important. That we are owning our own emotions, that we're being totally authentic to ourselves. That we are deeply feeling and allowing ourselves to feel and allowing ourselves to be with whatever emotion that we're moving through at this time. Allowing it. If you can take one thing away from this video, it's this: allowing yourself to feel. Allowing yourself to feel all the vulnerability and allowing yourself to be vulnerable, feel vulnerable, share vulnerability. That's deep. That's profound. Because vulnerability, allowing yourself to share, even if you feel afraid of judgment, even if you feel afraid of getting rejected, then you're not afraid to share and express your own feelings. Now, where are you becoming too passive aggressive? Where are you becoming overly passive aggressive? Where is that passive aggressive where are you becoming overly passive aggressive with what you are doing in your life? Meaning that you are giving up your power to somebody else. You are handing over your power. You are taking away your own identity, your own assertiveness by saying, oh, it's fine, I can just go along with this thing. Oh, it's fine, I can just go along with this. No. Stop what is fine and what works out and focus on what is good, what will work out, and what will be fine. What will be all going smoothly? What will be what you want in the relationship that's true for you to have an experience in that relationship? Maybe it's time to focus on, assertion instead of passivity. Maybe it's time to focus on, I'm asserting myself and I'm not willing to tolerate what I cannot tolerate. I'm not willing to tolerate any less than what my heart wants in my life. I'm not willing to tolerate what keeps me down, because in life, when you get back down, when life knocks you down, you just get back up. You just rise up above the clouds. You rise up above the skyscrapers and whatever you have going on inside of you. You look at where you become to in this negative tendency of becoming not naming your own emotions, not giving voice to your own feelings, where if you kept your feelings private. Now, you may need to pause and look at where you need to be more assertive in your life and set healthy boundaries when it comes to naming those emotions out loud. Naming those feelings is the best way to go about it. I feel sad. I feel anxious. I feel depressed. I feel like my life is going to end. I feel devastated. I feel like something's ripped away from me and I can't get it back. I feel weak. I feel like a victim. I feel like I have no control. Naming the feelings and being honest about them. That's your key during this time, is to have boundaries with yourself and be totally honest about that and know where you need to set healthy boundaries in a relationship. Know where those healthy boundaries need to be set in order for you to feel good, in order for you to feel wealthy and healthy and happy. It's really about, showing that you can put yourself first, that you can think about your needs, that you can prioritize your needs and your well-being. You can really look at that. You can look at standing up for what you believe in, setting the boundary. Like, I'm not going to tolerate this. I'm going to be very, very transparent about this, and I'm going to be honest about this. Being direct, because Mars and Cancer can be a little bit indirect. So learning to direct your energy, learning to focus your energy, learning to do all this. So, what do you need to direct your energy towards? What do you need to focus your energy? Like focus like a laser. Like, I'm focusing my energy on a particular thing and a particular object in a particular direction, in a particular plan, in a particular way. Okay? So where do you need to focus in that energy? Where do you need to trust your gut and follow your intuition and trust what feels right? Just do what feels right. Do what feels good, as I said before. It's very, very simple. Now, Mars sextile Chiron is the first aspect going on. And we have to become, this is going on right on August 12th, the same day that Mars enters Cancer. Literally the same day, just hours later. So where can we become overly aggressive? But we need to look at where we become overly aggressive. That we have a wound there. This Chiron, remember, is our wounds. And so where are we wounded? Where do we feel hurt and devastated and negatively attacked and all these kinds of things? We need to focus on our own system, our own body system, how we nurturing our system, how we nurturing our well-being. So, we need to focus on becoming more free and independent, not being tied to the wounds, not being defined by the wounds, not being tied to all that we're stuck in, all that we're limited to, all that we're fixated to, but being liberated to not be defined by these wounds. Now, Mars square Neptune is a time for self-care. There's a lot to discuss here. Self-care is the first thing. Taking care of yourself, taking care of your body, taking care of your mind, taking care of your emotions, taking care of your psyche, taking care of your soul, taking care of your spiritual well-being. Because the impulse here is to want to go inside. We feel a little bit more tired. We feel a little bit more exhausted. This is exact on the 17th. So we need to focus on where are we, not focus on an August 17th, not September 17th. So self-care is the very, very first thing. We need to focus on, what brings us peace, what brings us joy, what brings us all, this kind of thing, going on right here. This is a time to focus on self-care and happiness and kindness and beauty and joy and authenticity, with loving ourselves enough to take care of our own self. I need to meditate more these days. I have thousands of oracle cards that I pull. Meditation is the number one thing that helps my brain these days because I'm constantly on edge. My nervous system is all over the place. It's just constantly on alert, waiting for the next shoe to drop. And so I need to do whatever I can to calm myself down and to bring myself into a centered, grounded place that I can operate from that place. Because if I don't do that, then it doesn't feel right to continue doing these videos. It doesn't feel right to continue to go about my life. So I meditate several times a day, maybe. I may meditate when I get back. I may meditate later on this evening. I don't know. but I meditate a lot, and that's what seems to help me out quite a bit. Now, you're feeling more tired, so don't go to work. Don't work so hard. Just stop the work and focus on rest. Focus on resting your own self, resting your body, resting your mind. Don't work so hard. Don't slave away at the desk. Just use this time to just focus on your task at hand, which is taking care of yourself and self-care. So making time out in your day for self-care, and maybe making your state of being and your vibration and your peace your top priority. I mean, you can do the work also, but if that trumps your own safety and security and self-care, that's where you need to draw the line in the sand. Now, where can you allow the universe to take over? Allowing the universe to have a say in all that you're doing. Allowing the allowing the universe to be able to run your life, but not run your life because you're the co-creator. But where does this surrender need to take place? We're needing to surrender control to the divine. Sometimes we hold on so tightly that we don't let go of control. Where can we be more in control of our own lives, of our own soul desires? Where we can, just be peaceful, be peace, live peace, experience peace, and let go of control, let go of the need to shape the form and shape the outcome and shape the mold and do all this kind of stuff. Now, if you're not clear on what you want and you're lying to yourself, that's where you need to stop right there. Be true to yourself, be true to what you want, because that is the key to happiness and success, is to be true to yourself. The most successful people are true to themselves. That is a fact. The most successful people put themselves first. The most successful people do what brings them joy. The most successful people follow their passions. So, where can you be clear on what you want, where you want to go, and get clear on what is in your heart that you want to experience in this life? Now, don't act and don't say things in a way that harm because, it causes harm, that because this is more compassion, this is more sensitive, spiritual transit. So, maybe you are not acting in a way that, where others feel like you are harming them, where you're holding them back. Where you are kind to others, and it's really coming from a soul-centered place, like being kind, being sympathetic, being empathetic, being compassionate. These are all beautiful qualities. So where can you act in a way that benefits others and makes others feel good and kind and confident and beautiful and grand and all this kind of thing going on? So how can you serve others in that kind of way with having them acting in kind, caring, loving ways? That's your key. Now, if it's too good to be true, then it is too good to be true. With this thing, you can put the mirage on top of it. You can put the illusion on top of it. So, we need to look at, like, okay, this is too good to be true. This feels like I'm going to get hit down and shut down and smacked in the face if I just trust this thing because there's something here, like, AI is too good to be true. Oh, you can create anything with it. Oh, but crosses some ethical boundaries. So it's not, it is too good to be true. A lot of things in life are too good to be true. And that's where you need to draw the line and say, I'm not going to choose to engage in all these things in my life that are too good to be true. Now, getting swept away by fears and imagination is another thing, where you where you get absorbed into yourself, absorbed into your own your own fantasies that trick you into thinking that what you did was wrong. What you did was bad. What you did was horrible. You were demonized. You were put into prison for what you did. You were put in jail for what you did. But you have this going on, and it's not based off of reality. This fear, this anxiety is not based off what's going on here and now. So becoming more present, focusing on the present moment, grounding, meditating, surrendering is what you need to focus on. So becoming more grounded. That is the huge focus for this time. That is the huge focus for right now. Is focusing on how can I become present? How can I become here and now? How can I become grounded and not get all up in my mind and up in my anxiety and up in working myself up to a tizzy and making myself sick with panic, but calming the nervous system down, grounding. Now, Mercury retrograde, we just had Mercury retrograde. The next one's October 24th through November 13th. During Mercury retrograde, the best thing that you can do for yourself during Mercury retrograde is to regulate your nervous system. Things will go wrong in Mercury retrograde. That is just how it is. I've experienced it before, and I was going to go into it all positive, but it wasn't a very good experience. The fact is that Mercury retrograde is a difficult time. Things go wrong. Technology fails. Things get lost. There's miscommunication, so you have to make sure that you are grounding, you are regulating, you are making yourself present and peaceful. That is the advice that I would give you for Mercury retrograde if I have to be real and authentic with you. Now, Mars square Saturn. Don't push so hard. Do not push so hard for your goals. Do not continue to force these goals onto other people. Walk it out, wait it out, and allow the universe to take as much time as it's going to take. Like, you could be like wondering, like, why is this taking so long? Why is this goal, taking so long? Taking so long for me. But this is, it's going to take as long as it's meant to take. And you are meant to relax and surrender and trust in the divine and trust in spirit. Spirit has your back 24/7. Spirit loves you. Spirit will give you the best thing possible. But it may not be what your ego wants. But your soul knows the way. Your soul knows that this is the right thing to do. The right approach to have with whatever you're experiencing. Where you are where you are getting past the restrictions of what authority figures want from you, getting past these restrictions of what these people in power want from you, having to hold down your energy and hold down the fort and hold down all that you prize yourself in, all that you make yourself so lovingly, that so zestfully that you want to experience in your life. So now these authority figures are telling you that you can't have what you want. Well, maybe you can be the inner authority of your life, and you can rule your life and get what you want and live a life that's according to what you want authentically. I'm going to ask you, what do you want on a soul level? What do you want? And you can have that if you just co-create with the universe and work your way, with spirit and do all that, then you can have that. And you're also not initiating too many conflicts at once, not starting these conflicts, not getting all aggressive or mean or upset and just stopping that nervous tension, that nervous anxiety. Like, why is this taking so long? Like, stopping everything, being focused on the present, just slowing it down, being patient, relaxing. Feel how calming that is when you just slow everything down. Feel how calming it is when you just accept it's going to take as long as it's going to take. Just surrender. This could feel very frustrating, like things are not taking things are taking way too long. They are meant to. The universe is meant to have these things take as long as they're meant to take. So slow down, relax, be present. And not starting too many things at once, because you may start all these things just all at once, just to start going all different directions, and it's time to stop this and relax and yeah. So yeah. So we're not initiating too many things. We're not doing too many things. We're not experiencing too many things. We're not going in all these directions and throwing all these balls around and this and that. We are just starting one thing at a time, going through that process of one thing at a time, and not scattering ourselves out. Then can we become stronger working alone? Really, can we release these conflicts with those authority figures, and can we sharpen our skills? When we sharpen, we do best, and be strong within ourselves, be sturdy within ourselves. And then finally, Mars is square Chiron on March 27th, just 2 days before Mars moves on to Leo. Where do we need to focus on where aggression has interfered with our relationships? Where has aggression interfered? Where have we been overly aggressive, overly pushy, overly controlling, overly egoic? Where have we been overly acting so negatively toward our partners? Where do we need to remember the serenity prayer, that we cannot control other people, that we cannot control the external things that go on, but we need to just calm down our energy. This is the time to calm down your nervous system. If you want a nervous system reset, then this is the time to calm it down. So practice the serenity prayer. God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. I think that practicing that will be so healing for you right now during this transit. Letting go of what is out of your control and being present for what is, and being courageous to stand up and act upon what you can actually control in your own life. Because that's where you step into your own power. That's where you are empowered to know, like, okay, I have control over this in my life. This is an area of life that I have control over. I have control over this. I am sovereign. I am strong. I am solid. I am this and that. So, where do you need to practice that to help you with your own well-being, with your own peace of mind? Where do you need to be vulnerable? Feel, bring peace to yourself, surrender, let go. Allow yourself to feel your feelings, allow yourself to express your feelings, where you're not forcing things to happen. You're just allowing things to occur at their due time. Just allowing the universe to work its way through you. And today, I'm going to focus on nurturing myself, self-care, pulling my oracle cards, watching my cooking shows and everything like that. Like I'm going to spend the rest of today making sure that everything that I do today is somehow related to self-care. Like, I'm going to make that promise to myself. That whatever I do today, whatever I go about today, when I'm filming this video, is based off of allowing self-care to be present, like allowing myself to care and love myself and and support myself in my process of healing my anxiety, my depression, my grief, my upset that I'm feeling right now. And so, trusting the universe. It's so powerful to pray and trust and have faith in God with all that kind of thing. And again, where do you need to be assertive and calm down your aggressiveness? Calm down the aggressive tone of quality. Calm down that aggressive quality of how you are acting in your life, how you are behaving in your life. Being present for what is. Being present for all that is. So, thank you everybody for tuning into this episode of the Cosmic Sky Podcast. Thank you for watching, and bye for now.